Hey everyone, I'm Jenna,
I'm Clint, and welcome to the Enchanted Parks and Ports podcast,
where we chat Disney, Universal Cruise Lines, and beyond. Hello, Enchanted Parks and Ports, and hello, Clint, fresh back from Walt Disney World. In fact, so fresh that you were here a day early for our podcast recording this week.
I thought it was yesterday, but it wasn't.
And then you were like, I'm sorry, I'm in Disney time. What is time? So anyway, we found each other on the internet yet again. You're back from Disney and we are doing a trip report. One of the best episode types because I just get to hear about your travels, how you actually move through Disney, and especially what we like to do with trip reports as opposed to going day by day is really do like new experiences, things you learned, tried and true, but important moments on your trip. Those kind of highlight standouts. So I'm excited to hear what this one had in store for you.
Yeah, and there was a lot of new for us on this trip because we built it that way. This was a trip where going into it purposefully, we said, we're not going to run our normal playbook.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Was there a reason that was, I know we have some news, but was there a reason why you were so intentional about not running your normal playbook?
Yeah, I think for me, it's one of these things that as I support people around their Walt Disney World travel, I want to make sure to be able to give a breadth of option and experience to them that's not me helping them plan my same plan 15 times, right? I want to be able to present a well-rounded wealth of options to folks that help them plan their ideal trip.
Right.
And for me, it was one of these things of, sure, I know what I like, but there's plenty that I haven't done that I need to experience so I can say, do I want to change my typical playbook? But also, if it doesn't fit for me, there's a good chance it could fit for somebody else.
This is secretly Clint's ploy to get me on the Muppets coaster. This whole spiel, he prepped this in advance, I'm sure of it, to be like, for your clients, Jenna, to know.
I hadn't gone there, but thank you for closing that gap for me.
The answer is no. The answer is no.
Oh, come on.
Let's quickly segue over to news. We have some big news in the world of Walt Disney World, Disney Springs transportation. Tell us what's happening, Clint.
Yeah, so from a Disney Springs transportation standpoint, we talked on a podcast a few episodes back about a limitation of non-resort guests being able to get on transportation at Disney Springs. They ran this for a 2-week period just to see kind of what the effect was. Do I think it's because we've had folks clogging up the transportation system? Not necessarily, but I do think it's gotten to a point where a regular option for non-resort guests staying on property is to go to Disney Springs and then use transportation to access the rest of the Disney universe. And so from that standpoint, I think Disney recognizes that. And I don't know if they're trying to encourage people to stay on property or truly this is a move of we want to make sure that our resort guests get the first option and priority. Yeah. But as of right now, from Disney Springs, you got to have one of two things to be able to access resorts or parks. And that is you got to have either a reservation at a resort on property or you have to have a dining reservation at said resort that you're trying to travel to. Those are your only two choices. Otherwise, cast members are not going to let you on that Disney transportation.
Yeah, the segue, or I guess there's kind of sort of a third one, which is an experience reservation. So if you have something like fishing booked at Port Orleans, you'll still be allowed to go there. But you have to have some kind of reservation. There cannot be I'm going to go check out the quick service or I want to go to Trader Sam's. That's not going to fly. You're not going to be able to hop on Disney transportation at Disney Springs anymore.
It's not. And one of the things that I've thought about a little bit, and I don't have the answer to this because I do think this was a typical pivot for folks, is you have the Disney Springs area good neighbor resorts, right? Which do have limited transportation to and from them through your own hotel stay. But I think a typical move from those good neighbor hotels was to go over and use Disney transportation, right? This was why I would choose to use a Disney Springs area good neighbor hotel versus a Main Gate area or one of the other areas, right?
Yeah.
And so I really do wonder how this is going to change the experience for those folks who were choosing these good neighbor hotels. And now this particular type of transportation is no longer an option.
Yeah, I think that's kind of bad news for those hotels, to be honest.
Yep.
Which is maybe good news for your Disney and their resort. So we'll see how this all plays out. It is interesting that they're also giving people a heads up. Like they're letting people settle into the idea, right? By the time this airs, it might be in full effect.
It is in full effect by the time this airs.
Yeah, so we'll see how this all plays out. Might be a bit of people are learning to make dining reservations in advance in order to get to that resort area, right? So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Oogie Boogie Bash.
The best that Disney has to offer for an after hours event.
Wow, that's a bold claim.
And I'm going to stand by it.
Okay.
Nothing beats Oogie Boogie.
I love me some Christmas.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie still got you beat. No,
Oh
I'm going to stick
okay,
with
so
it. Somebody, I would love for somebody to give us a comment as to why I'm wrong, but West Coast Oogie Boogie sets a standard.
Is the way to go. Okay, well, on that note, Oogie Boogie Bash tickets now on sale. We know these sell out. Apparently, because it's the best after hours event on Disney property. So if you want to be going to Oogie Boogie Bash, now is the time. We are not waiting for these things. We are booking our after hours events.
And I'm going to guess that Halloween and some of the other more popular nights are already gone.
Yeah. Like Halloween is one of those, iconic experiences. It's going to go fast. So yeah, that's our news for today. But shall we jump into your trip?
Yeah, let's jump into a bit of a trip report.
Okay, well, start us off. So you said you were doing it differently. Part of the intention being, to not just experience like Clint's ideal Disney, but the different ways you can do Disney. What was kind of the priority? Like, was it a slower paced trip? What was the vibe that you were going for?
I think one of the things we were going for with this was a lot of new dining experiences. Like we wanted to get a breadth around that.
Nice.
And then as we know, in recent months, Disney has done several layers of update. I mean, even since the trip you and I took.
Oh, totally.
Right? There's, I don't know, half a dozen or more new experiences on property that have been updated. And again, some that were lasting from that trip that I didn't get to do. And so it was really a combination of how do I make sure that I get to do these things that Disney is offering that I've never done before, both from an experience standpoint as well as a dining standpoint.
Cool. I love that. And I know there were some tried and true things because I did get a picture of a certain margarita flight with a caption of how long you've been waiting for said margarita flight.
It was, but what's interesting is as much as I have touted Brown Derby Lounge, I hadn't ever sat at Brown Derby Lounge. I had been in Brown Derby, and I had spent time on the benches outside, so I had a real good concept of Brown Derby Lounge without having ever visited the lounge.
And was this a lounge visit?
We did do a lounge visit on our first Hollywood Studios day. Nice. And, with this, we had park hoppers, so we were hitting multiple parks in any given day. But yeah, Brown Derby Lounge was definitely on the menu for the tried and true reason is the margarita flight did not disappoint. It was different, which is one thing that I really appreciate about this is it wasn't kind of Clint's first experience, part two, it
Ah,
was definitely a new experience because yes, it was at the lounge and the flight was different. And it was fantastic. One of the things that I will say is they are experiencing a little bit of construction right now with Brown Derby Lounge. It used to be on the front of the building. They've
yeah.
relocated to kind of the side of the building, kind of around where the cast member entrance was.
Interesting.
And so they're building a new awning and some different things on the front of the building where it traditionally was. And so a little bit of difference there. One of the things that I will definitely say is with an outdoor lounge like Brown Derby, be careful of the time of year.
Mm,
Because we were pretty toasty, even though we were sitting in the shade outside, that kind of stuff. It was one of those things. Do I regret it? No. It was fantastic. Great drinks, great atmosphere. Loved it because we got to see Stitch several times as he kind of went back and forth from Animator's Courtyard. It was brilliant. So super good there. We got the charcuterie board. I will say it was solid.
mm-hmm.
I wouldn't make it as a recommendation. There are other things on the menu that I think I would try first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Like,
the offerings were good and not great. The drinks were fabulous. The margaritas super good. I would say maybe in June with 100-degree feels like temperature.
cheese and
Your
meat.
time for not getting to a watered down state because ice is melting is a little bit more, finite. But it was fabulous, so good. So definitely, keep Brown Derby on the menu as an option because I think it does still hit and it hits really well.
Yeah.
Another thing that we did for a first time ever in regard to this trip was we had never stayed at All Star Music.
Oh, because you frequented sports,
I have.
but not music. How
Not
did you
music. And
compare
so,
the two?
it's one of those things that I think when you get an all-star resort, irregardless of the three,
Yeah.
you're getting the same resort is one thing that I would share with, our listeners. The room theming, I didn't notice any difference in the room theming at all. You're getting similar layout as far as the resort itself. You've got main pool, main building, main promenade down the middle, kind of a smaller pool remotely located. We were closer to the smaller pool. And so again, what I loved about it, simplicity, not a huge resort, easy to navigate. In fact, what we had found was it was easier to walk through one of the parking lots to get to the main building from our room than it was down the main promenade. So we just did that instead.
Yeah, that's actually a really good tip for listeners is look around your building before you just get in because we are creatures of habit before we just get in this is how I get to the buses and the mug refills. Actually look around because often that is the case that through a parking lot could be faster. There are certain all-stars rooms at one resort that's closer to the busing at the next resort, things like that. So take a look around your room and assess accordingly.
Yeah, figure out if there's
Yeah.
some things that are just easier because it was. And so, that first day, we'd also never done a go to the parks on an arrival day. That was a new experience for us. We hit MCO at about 12:50. By the time we got to resort, it's like 1:50. We were at Magic Kingdom Park by about 3:00.
Nice.
We had a dining reservation for Tony's Town Square.
Oh, what did you think of Tony's?
I was really pleasantly surprised. When people
Yeah.
say the new menu at Tony's is solid, it is really solid.
It is getting consistently good press and better press. So it's been getting my attention lately in terms of places to recommend to people.
Yeah, I think if you're going sit down dining
Mm-hmm.
and you've got more of a kind of like neutral palate, like you're not really adventure forward where Skipper's Canteen kind of fills that need.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tony's is the move.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
Cinderella's Royal Table, some of those kinds of things, fine if you're going character kind of dining and you're wanting to go upscale. But this place of Tony's, I mean, Terry Ann went to the point, she got the salmon,
Mm,
right? And,
yeah.
fish done in kind of a quick way can be, I don't know, a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, sure.
It was brilliant.
That's awesome.
It
I
was
love that
so
for
it
her.
was well cooked, well seasoned, like on point. I had rigatoni pasta with some chicken in it. Definitely fantastic.
Mm,
It was definitely a hit all the way around.
that's awesome.
And so I would recommend this to clients, I think, even right now over Liberty Tree Tavern,
Mm,
which
yeah.
is a big go-to at Magic Kingdom. And the reason I say that is I think it's a lighter fare. It's one that's a
It's
little
not
bit
a
more
full
as you're
Christmas dinner. Yeah.
yeah. And so definitely highly recommend that. Interesting thing happened to us, and I did kind of clue you in a little bit and on a text.
Hmm.
So we happened to be waiting for Tony's Town Square.
Yes.
And what we did before, so we had this like 50-minute window
Right.
where we were checking in for our reservation, but didn't have time to get deep in the park. So it was
Yeah.
really kind of a funky space.
Yes.
So it's like, what do you do when you're a new annual pass holder and you've got time to kill, but you got to do it in the front of the park? Well, you're going to go see your buddy Mickey.
Go see the mouse. Pay your
So
respects.
we did that. We 25-minute wait, which I was surprised at given it was a fairly heavy park day. So,
That's not
25
horrible.
minutes to go meet Mickey, got the pictures, everything. So there's this period of time, probably about 25 minutes between the time we get done meeting Mickey and the time we go to our reservation.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out there in the Main Street Theater,
Yeah.
right? Just because they share the lobby.
Yes.
And so I'm standing there and I've got my Haunted Mansion Roosevelt shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
And a cast member walks up to me and she goes, "Nice shirt." And I'm like, "Thanks, I appreciate that." She says, "You like spooky things?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." And she goes, "Great, come with me." So I'm like, "Where's Terry Ann?" So I was like, "Terry Ann, come here." And she goes, "We're going to go back here." And I looked at her and I said, "We already met Mickey," because I didn't know if,
Right. You're
like,
like,
she was,
does she think Mickey's spooky? Is she confused?
yeah, I don't know. I was like, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
So they walk us through some backstage area and in
Wow.
behind Main Street Theater.
Right. And at this point, you're like, what's happening? But
Yeah,
I
I'm like,
like
what
it.
is going on?
Yeah.
And they walk us into a room where we are the only people.
Like, there's no one in this room. They're like,
There's well,
hello.
there's nobody else that is a guest. And I
Okay.
look around and I see some cast members, and then I look up, and here is Jack and Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, what was your reaction when you realized what was happening?
My mind was completely blown. I was
Oh,
like, is this really happening?
that's amazing. That is
And
such a
so,
fun thing.
they didn't have a photo pass photographer in there. We gave the cast member our, phone. We got a full interaction with Jack and Sally. We're talking to them because I was like, man, I thought you guys were on the West Coast. Giving them, like, I've seen
Yeah.
them with that. We got into like talking. We took a bunch of pictures. But it was one of these things that I've never met them doing that. I know that people go to, the after hours parties and spend hours.
Like, people almost buy a ticket for the after hours party for that experience.
And so the fact that we went in there, we had basically all the time we wanted. I mean, the only thing that kept us from staying longer was knowing that we had Tony's waiting at some point really
Right.
close, right?
Yes, we only have that 15-minute grace period. We got to get to our pasta.
But the chance to go in and have that happen was just mind-blowingly good, because these are the things that you hear about happening to other people,
Right.
but don't ever experience yourself.
Yeah. That is so incredible. And now listeners are going to be hanging out in the Main Street Theater lobby hoping for the best.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I could point to is maybe they had new cast members who were learning the
Mm,
parts of Jack and Sally, preparing for not so scary Halloween party, like
yeah.
training and
Yes.
wanting to train with guests. So they had set them up in the area that you would normally meet, and they were getting the opportunity to hone their
Yeah.
skills. And we just got to be the benefit of that,
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly what was happening, is my guess, is this time of year we see actually quite a few unique characters who are preparing for their Halloween festivities. And so they are showing up a little early to the scene. Like Lady Tremaine was in Epcot the same week you were there, obviously preparing for Halloween fun, right? So this is a thing. It's kind of like people who book trips around the second week, end of first week of November, hoping to time it with the
Yeah.
filming of the Christmas parade. Early June, mid-June does kind of time when characters are prepping to kind of get ready for the Halloween party. So I think you timed that well without knowing it.
We definitely did. And I think it's just one of those things that you'll remember. Like, I go top three Disney moments ever.
Amazing.
Right, was this experience, because it was so personal. And again, I don't know why us. You know me, and I carry pins
Yeah.
just because A, I pin trade, but B, I also think so. I don't like, there was a young lady at a pin board, and I'm like probably kindergarten age,
Yeah.
who was admiring a pin board and was like, I like that one. The cast member was trying to, I guess, explain to the kid that you have to have one to trade.
Yeah.
Well, I just happened to be standing there watching the pin board,
Right.
and I turned around, grabbed a pin out of my bag, and said, "Here you go."
Yeah.
And kind of delivered a little bit of my own pixie dust in that
Mm,
moment. I have no idea if that had a impact on Disney returning the favor. There's
right.
this piece of, I think, sometimes what you send out in the universe, you get
Yeah.
back just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we got it back in spades
I love
in
that.
regard to this experience. So that was kind of the start of our trip, which was just mind-blowingly good. Getting to meet Jack and Sally and go to Tony's, which was brilliant, was fantastic. On that same day, we took the opportunity to do something that I've never done in this way before. So I have watched fireworks once or twice
Hmm.
on the periphery of the hub area.
Right.
Right, being the efficiency guy, I want the escape route back to the
Yeah.
rides as
Yeah.
soon as the fireworks is over.
Right.
This time around, I was like, nope, we are going to go and find a spot by the partner statue, and
Hmm.
we're going to watch it
Hmm.
from that location.
Yeah.
And I always get folks who ask me, what's the best location to watch the fireworks?
Yeah.
And typically, my advice, because that partner statue space is so congested, it's
Hmm.
so tight, and people can get a little snippy
Hmm.
in that area,
Yeah.
right? Because like they are holding their space. So that's not one that I typically recommend.
You're right.
Um, but it is one that this trip I took a chance on because
Yeah.
I'd never done it before.
Hmm.
And I will genuinely say there is a different level of magic
Yeah.
watching the fireworks from that location in the park, because the perspective is just so perfectly articulated.
Oh, 100%. It was designed to be watched there, right? You still get a beautiful viewing experience in lots of other places, but it was designed to be watched there.
Yeah, I mean, you see those fireworks break and explode right over the pinnacle of the castle.
Oh,
You're seeing it dead on in the middle. You get to see everything with such degree of clarity from the bottom to the top. So if somebody on the podcast is thinking, man, am I going to do this? Am I not? Would I suggest people do it every time? No.
hmm.
Do you have to do it once? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I do think that's one of those, like, I'm not really made for Main Street fireworks, elbow room only kind of vibes. But whoa, the magic of that experience. I will do it for Abby's first time. She's never actually made it to the fireworks. She keeps falling asleep before the fireworks. She's done Starlight, but never made it to the fireworks. And her first time, I will invest in good spot, see the fireworks kind of properly, quote unquote.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And again, I'm so glad that I've done it, that now to at some point, maybe it's the Christmas trip, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm going to have to do the time with my kids
Yep.
in that location, just because I think it would be just an elevated experience for the whole family.
Oh, 100%. I feel like Christmas trip is such an obvious choice for that too, right? Because you can slow down. There is
Yeah,
more competition for rides too, so maybe we are investing the time and we're sitting down and holding our space until it's time to watch, right?
it is.
Yeah.
So some other things we kind of did, and I'm just gonna kind of highlight them a little bit by park area.
Yeah.
So thinking about Epcot, and kind of our time at Epcot again was a little bit slower. We did the Go 82 because you have to.
Oh,
Terry Ann had
nice.
not
What did
been
Terry
there, so
think?
that was new for her. Again, having been there now a third time, it does not miss at all. Still gonna suggest that people choose the time wisely. Like if you can get that later evening kind of time before they start carving it out for fireworks, definitely the best option. Geo is gonna always be a go-to. But we did try some other things while we were there, and two different versions of margarita and chips and guacamole.
Okay. Hold on. I need to back up. How did Terry Ann like Geo?
Oh, she loved
She
Geo.
loved it.
I mean, the charcuterie board again, same one you and I had by style. So they're
Yeah.
staying with that one. So fabulous. And then, in the case of beverage, I went with a new beverage. Got something that was tequila and mezcal based. She went with just a classic, wine in this particular case.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's just the ambiance and such the wow factor.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It is such a different Disney lounge experience. And also, this is why you didn't like Brown Derby's charcuterie as much because you were comparing it to Geo's.
And you're not wrong,
Like,
because it sets that kind of standard.
yeah, it does. It has a price tag. Like for a charcuterie board, it has a higher price tag than most Disney charcuterie boards by a
But
couple
only
bucks.
by about $5.
By
And
about $5. But
I would give them $10 more for that one.
that's what I was gonna say. But it's probably not even high enough compared to the other ones because it is so much better.
It is
So,
not,
yeah.
for sure. And so while we were at Epcot, we had the chance to get to a place that I have talked about, that I have heard talked about,
Right.
and just so good. And that is, we went to La Cava.
Nice. So we cruised over to Mexico.
Yeah, and one of the things that was a little bit shocking when I got there was the line for La
Mhm.
Cava.
It's
Because,
like short or long?
no, well, I would have presumed it to be long based
Yeah.
on where it is, because it was out the door and stretching up the ramp
Right.
towards the entrance of the building.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, okay, this may take a hot minute,
Yeah.
right? And one of the things that I would say is most of the people there are looking for the grab and go.
Yes. This is true.
Although you can do the sit down, and Terry Ann and I elected to do the sit down at La Cava. In fact, we didn't have to wait that long, or not at all. We walked up; they had a 2-person booth. We sat down right away.
Amazing.
I will say it is definitely the best margarita I've had in Epcot.
Mmm.
And the chips and guacamole, like the trio, so they do some salsa, chips and guacamole, and queso. The guacamole is better than the other guacamoles that you get in Mexico area.
Now,
Because
have you done Haleo?
I have not done Haleo.
Because that is the best margarita I've had on Disney property.
Okay.
And I've done some sampling. So I recommend
I'm going to
adding
have to
to it
accept that challenge.
and competing accordingly. I haven't tried La Cava's sit down margarita. What margarita specifically was it? Like their
They had a spicy cucumber, and then Terry Ann got a, oh, what is it, blood orange?
Oh, that sounds good.
And the blood orange was actually the best of the two because it did tequila and mezcal, and I love mezcal in a margarita.
Nice. So yeah, so this is our competition then, between Haleo and La Cava, I would say.
Okay, then here's the thing. I'm going to have to figure out for our July trip how to get over to Haleo.
Yes, which it reasonably, I think you could do it. Like,
yeah, I'm going to have to.
Being an annual pass holder now, you can give up some park time for some Haleo, I promise.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're trying some new things. We're having the trio of dips. The guacamole's a hit. And
yep, it was really good. And it was nice to slow it down, right?
Yeah.
It was a great space. Cast members were fantastic. You get to do that. You can pop over and hit Grand Fiesta Tour. Yeah. You're just kind of doing your slow down thing. And earlier, a couple of days before on the trip when we were at Epcot the first time, we did hit up La Cantina San Angel Inn, which is across the way from the actual pavilion, right? It's on the bay side. It's the quick service right there. Good solid margaritas and good chips and guac that is, you can go walk around the park with. It was really fantastic that way, but it didn't compare to La Cava. And one of the things that I will share with our listeners, because we looked it up online because we knew that there were potentially secret special margaritas at La Cava. These don't exist anymore.
Oh, did you ask? And they were like, no, not happening.
So we told them Dom sent us, which used to be the secret password for said secret margarita. And apparently Dom is no longer.
Did they say Dom doesn't work here anymore?
The cast member was like, he doesn't work here anymore.
Oh, darn.
So that was unfortunate because it would have been kind of cool to add to the experience, to feel like you were getting something special. Right. But with all of that, definitely, if you need a place to slow down in Epcot, La Cava, definitely huge option, great way to go. And then the other thing that I did at Epcot that was new, that I was like, I don't know how this is going to go, is there's this little ride called Mission Space.
Oh, boy.
And there's a green side and there's an orange side. I have ridden said green side.
Right. And what was your experience like?
Actually, it wasn't bad.
You were like, sure.
It was like, okay. But when you walk up to said orange side, there's every sign in the world that says this is a bad idea.
There's like literally giant signs being like, this will ruin your day. Please proceed.
So it was like, I've got to do this because my daughter Taylor and I have been talking about it earlier that week when I was out seeing my kids in Georgia. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to do this just because I've never done it. Okay.
So did Taylor challenge you to this? And this was like a competitive Clint streak thing?
No, it wasn't. It's just a piece of, I'm just going to have to man up and figure it out and run the risk of feeling like garbage for the rest of the day.
I'm an annual pass holder now. I can feel like garbage if I want to feel like garbage.
Yep. And so what I will say is it is more intense significantly than green. I'm not someone who typically gets motion sick.
Yeah.
And while afterwards, were there any lasting effects? No.
Sure.
But in the moment in the ride, were there some sweaty moments of, oh, this is not feeling too good? Definitely.
Right. So if you are someone who gets motion sick, do we believe the signs?
Oh, believe the signs by far. And I'm going to say, unless you're really pretty insulated against that kind of stuff, don't risk it.
Yeah. It's just not Not worth it, especially if it's like this is your one Epcot day, you know?
Yep, for sure, because there's too many other cool and great things to go do in Epcot
Yeah.
that don't have anything to do with this.
Yes. Yep. That sums it up. That's an interesting piece of feedback though, because I often warn clients around the orange side, but I don't know if I've ever talked to, and I've heard the feedback from people who get motion sick, but I've never talked to someone who's like, I don't get motion sick, and I did this. And so this is good feedback to be like, even that was hitting Glenn's limit during the ride.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and I'm surprised that my daughter Taylor did it because she does get motion sick, and
Mm,
her piece was, yeah, never again.
right, right. So
And
yeah,
so, been there, done that, off
yeah,
the list, and never to be seen again until they
yeah.
put a new ride system in that building.
Right. There you go. Done.
So, as we think about jumping out of Epcot and rolling over to a Hollywood Studios park, which
Right.
there's a surprising amount of new
Yeah.
in Hollywood Studios, and we know there's still a ton under construction.
And a ton of new that just opened, like the two new shows last year, right? So
Yes,
it's just an evolving park right now.
it really is. And so, got a chance to get over to Animator's Courtyard.
Yeah.
While not complete and fully open, definitely worth the visit. You got to get the photos with the sorcerer hat. I think families and especially young kids will be pleasantly surprised by the number of roaming characters in the courtyard.
I've seen some cool interactions going on online, like Mulan, like teaching people some cool moves, Rapunzel, like doing hair, like Stitch being Stitch, all kinds of fun things. So yeah, it seems like an area that will bring, especially when it's fully open, will bring so much more life for young kiddos into this park.
Yeah, and I even think for adults who just want a slower, more unique experience in a
Yeah.
park, this place is gonna hit. It's just with the theming, is it hugely Disney theming? No, it's not. But it is what I would say is quintessential Disney architecture, right?
Right.
They really kind of built this to mirror what they've got in Burbank
Yes.
and some of that kind of stuff. And it really does bring that nostalgic vibe.
And I also feel like just looking for the characters around the courtyard, and I mean the statue characters too.
Yes, it's
Like
super fun.
that would be in and of itself fun, right?
Yeah, it was good, and that's one of the details that I wasn't 100% remembering when I got there. And so as you're looking around, you're like, "Hey, that's really cool,"
Yeah.
because it's combinations you wouldn't expect.
Right. Like animals hanging out, like Thumper.
Well, and Animal's not from the same franchise,
Yeah.
so it is literally like they hopped off the pages and met each other
Yeah.
in the courtyard.
How cool is that? I
It's
love
super
that.
cool.
Yeah. That's going to be like it's great already and it's going to be better and better.
So the other couple of other things that we got to do, Rock and Roller Coaster with the Muppets was my first ride. Like I've got to do this. We only had Lightning Lanes one day on
Right.
a 4-day trip
Oh, wow.
for parks. So we went really limited on that. So rope drop was the huge tool. Rockin'. Not only is the ride better from a theming standpoint, they have introduced a pre-show, which didn't used to be there, which is kind of super cool.
Wait, there was a pre-show, but there's a different, like I'm thinking the pre-show where they're like in the recording studio.
Yes, but they do it, I guess, to a much larger degree
Oh, interesting. Okay.
with the Muppets. I mean, it's really well done.
Ah,
And then with the theming throughout the ride, you feel like there's more of it. Either or in some way they highlighted it better.
yeah, yeah.
Because before it felt like you just blew through past stuff and not even realizing what it was.
Right. Yes.
Now it definitely has a different level of presence. But I think the thing that I loved about this area, even more than the ride itself,
Yeah.
is they have taken to piping in like 80s and 90s classic rock music to the area. So rolling up on rope drop morning, you know, you're one group back from being first in line, and you're hearing Foo Fighters Everlong played in the speaker system. It's like, how good does that get? I mean, it was so like in the moment for this area. So I just appreciate that they've elevated this, and then the fact that you have the villain show that's right there, which gives you a whole nother reason to be in that area, is so good.
Yeah, it really changes kind of the flow of your morning now that that's back open, right?
It really does. I mean, it's one of those things that this is that spot in cooler weather. They've got a great snack stand there now. I would go grab a snack, cop a squat on a wall or someplace right there, and hang out for just a bit of time and listen to some music and people watch and do the whole thing. I think it would be a really cool spot.
Oh, yeah. Like this park, I think generally thrives with kind of the ambiance and the way that like the street atmosphere plays.
It is very, yeah, that's a great way to put it. They have upped that game.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
The
Still not
other
going
thing
on
we
it,
got to
but I'm
do
glad you liked it.
with actually, and I'm going to have to jump back to Epcot because I forgot one. But the other thing we got to do here that was just, again, such a great addition is we got to do Smuggler's Run with the new Mando and Grogu
Right.
overlay. That overlay is far superior to the original.
Oh,
It is
okay.
so good. I think for people who found the original one to be a little bit herky-jerky, a little bit intense, could be motion kind of sickness-inducing, some of that kind of stuff, they have smoothed this one out. I think it really is much more all-people friendly. The
Nice.
storyline is one that I think you can kind of connect with
Yeah.
better. And if you're sitting in the engineer seat, you do feel like not a passenger, but a participant. So just definitely, if you weren't a Smuggler's Run fan before, I'm going to suggest give it another shot. This is definitely an
Okay.
upgrade that makes it so much better. And so, yeah, just definitely, think about making sure to get on that one, even if it hasn't been your favorite in the past.
Yeah, giving things another try in their like redone era is kind of the name of the game at Hollywood right now.
It really is. And then a thing that to your point, that I hadn't gotten to do in the past, was definitely like, this was my number one must do in the park, even above Rockin', was I had to get to the Mermaid Show. It's been open for almost a year,
I
and I
never
had
seen
not
it.
seen it yet.
Ah, what did you think?
It was brilliant.
Yeah, we loved it. We thought it was wonderful.
And actually, as good as all the other shows are in that park, in my book, from a pure use of Disney magic standpoint,
Yeah.
this one is the best show in that park.
I don't know. I like Beauty and the Beast is so classic. There's
It
an
is,
element
but
of nostalgia you're competing with that's hard.
the tricks that they
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
in this show with the projection on the scrim, the actors behind it,
Yeah.
like the
That is
multi-layered
cool.
effect
That is
that
very cool.
exists in this show. The way Ariel definitely at times looks like she's actually swimming, and it's hard to tell that she's not.
Are you sure
Is
she's not? She might be. It might be Disney magic.
it's a pretty cool trick.
Yeah.
And just that whole effect, they have amplified what you can do on a small stage
Yeah.
extremely by the development of this show. Yes, I am always going to be a Frozen sing along from a content guy.
Oh,
Like, I'm
right.
connected to that. Like,
Frozen
that's not
too.
changing.
Yeah.
Stunt Spectacular's cool. I mean, who doesn't like blowing stuff up?
Right.
Beauty and the Beast. I mean, when you finally see Belle in her dress and,
Yeah.
the Beast goes to the prince and all, it's super good. But from a Disney tricks
Yes.
standpoint,
Yes.
Mermaid hits bigger than all the rest of them.
But when you have that many shows that you just named that are all that good for different reasons, like that just really highlights all this park has to offer, even outside of attractions. Like Hollywood's approaching a 2-day park.
It really is. You're not, and so that's funny that you say that because we were intending to go to Magic Kingdom on our I was going to say debarkation day, but on our day of leaving MCO. And we actually pivoted and went back to Hollywood Studios because we
Oh,
didn't feel like we had given that park its full due
oh, wow.
and
Interesting. Yeah.
sacrificed a Magic Kingdom go,
Right.
which for
Right.
me, that's saying something.
Yeah. I know that, especially to end it that way, right?
And so, just again, Hollywood Studios right now, so much new to offer. If you haven't been there in 3 or 4 years, this place is going to blow your mind.
You haven't been there. If you haven't been there in 3 or 4 years, you haven't been there recently enough that the half the park is different.
Yes, it really is. So I'm going to jump back to Epcot
Yeah.
before we move over to back to Magic Kingdom. So there's one ride or experience at Epcot that I forgot to talk about when we were chatting about it earlier, and that is Soarin' Across America.
Oh, oh my gosh. I'm so curious what your take is on this.
And I am kind of sorry to say that I'm lukewarm.
Oh, you know what? That's the general reception. Like the
Here's
approval ratings for Muppets higher than the original ride. Soaring Across America, we're seeing more mixed reviews. People like the original.
and here's why it lands that way for me.
Yeah.
Is in an effort to wow people with the cinematography
Mm.
in this particular show, Disney incorporated a lot of CG.
Okay.
And
Mm.
so there are definitely points where you're like, this is nothing but computer graphics. And
Mm.
there are things about soaring across California, soaring,
Yeah.
around the world, this kind of, that was authentically shot video.
Yeah.
Like you can
You
see
can
that
feel
it
it.
is old
Yeah.
school, authentically shot video.
Right.
And there are big portions of Soaring Across America that are clearly not that.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah.
And that's kind of my beef with it. It's like, guys, this is one of those moments not to up tech.
Yes.
Like, go back to your roots and do this old school.
It's also everyone's mom's favorite ride, so I feel like you gotta hold true to kind of the nostalgic vibes, right? As they say.
It really is. And I was so hopeful. I loved what they chose. They
Yeah.
chose some good stuff. But shoot that stuff
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
And give me the authentic, like I don't, if the harbor in New York doesn't have all the boats in it, then give me it without boats. Don't CG in all the boats and all the different because
Right.
you can tell.
Yeah. 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 Interesting. Okay, well, I'm intrigued to try it. And this is fascinating to see it roll out, and we'll see how long it sticks around because we haven't really heard.
No, we really haven't. My fear is because it's gotten lukewarm that it's going to go away sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we'll see. I think they'll keep it at least through the summer. Probably at least a year is my guess, and then we might see changes. But that's my prediction.
For sure.
Lots of new, eh? Like this was you went to Walt Disney World. When was the last time before this that you were at Disney?
In March when you and I
Oh,
went.
March, yeah. So you went there like just a matter of months ago, and all of this is new, and there still could be way more.
And there's still way more because over at Magic Kingdom, We had the chance to ride the new and improved Big Thunder.
I was trying to think what's new at Magic Kingdom. A couple things for you.
Yeah, there are that I hadn't been on yet. And what I will say is it's definitely a smoother track.
Yes.
I do appreciate what they did with the rainbow pools because they did amp that up. But I'm going to be like, really, Disney? The second cave space, what you give me is gold and a giant nugget.
What did you want?
I wanted West Coast.
Mm.
I mean, anybody who's been to Disneyland who is like, I want the cavern explosions. I want the dynamite. I want the, smoke spraying into the ride. I want all of that. And what I get is glittery gold stuff, which is better than it was.
But not.
But it's still taking a back seat to the original that is on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't have a comparison yet. So I'm intrigued to try the West Coast one because this is the general feedback, but they gotta save some differences, right? I do appreciate that actually.
I just think they could have learned from their success in a little different way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Like people want adventure.
Yes.
And, a 500,000-pound gold nugget is cool, but it doesn't give me that.
It doesn't give me adventure. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, so the other that we got to do over there, obviously, is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin.
Yeah.
Fully top to bottom, refurbed. And this is a much more enjoyable experience.
I loved it. Like so much different than the version pre-refurb.
It really is. And I think, when they say you can more closely tell where you're shooting, what you're trying, that is true. It is one of these things where if the ride pauses for a mobility assist, it definitely helps you, I will say. So, this is one of those rides. Everything else, you're like, don't break down, don't stop, those kinds of things. This is one where you're going, please stop, please stop, kind of deal. Yeah. And so I will boast, and I know I'm being boastful, but first ride ever, I actually got Galactic Hero.
That's amazing.
And I have the ride photo proof, because that's the other thing. When you now get ride photos, you get your scores on your ride photos, which is super cool.
That's cool. And I didn't fully clock that on our May trip. That's really neat.
And so, again, just this is one of those that was kind of always a hit for Re-Ride. Be aware, she's hard to get on right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, through the standby queue. You got to really pay attention in order to hit those little bit lower wait times. But definitely super good. Great improvement. Disney outdid themselves. So good job, Imagineers, taking something that you kept the concept, but gave it new life.
Yeah, gave it new life, made it so much more accessible for littles too, right? To understand where they're pointing. So I'm really loving Buzz, and I think other people are too, and that's why it's hard to get on right now. Is strategize that for a Lightning Lane, absolutely, especially because it's a tier 2.
So there's two other, dining locations I want to highlight before we kind of close this thing out. The first one is one that we did on kind of a whim.
Okay.
I had it lined up for our July trip because it's a place I've been kind of stalking for upcoming. But, Terry and I are rolling into that last Hollywood Studios day. We get to the park and we're both looking at each other and we're genuinely hungry.
Yeah.
So it's okay, we can do quick service, but we've rolled through and done all the quick services before.
Yeah.
So it was okay, we dialed up a 50s prime time dining reservation.
Okay.
Right? Knowing we weren't getting breakfast, but we were getting, an early lunch kind of situation.
Yes.
I think this is now, having taken a step back, my new go-to of what I've been to in this park. Like,
Oh,
I love Rodeo Roundup barbecue. It
yeah.
is really good. But 50s prime time is ridiculously good.
It's fascinating how much more I've recommended this restaurant in the last, what, month since I've been home from my last trip where I did 50s. I loved it.
I was shocked how
Yeah.
good it was. I mean,
So good. What did you get, first
I
of all?
had the trio, so I had the pot
Okay.
roast, the meatloaf, and the chicken.
Which is wise because then you can really try everything to kind of direct accordingly. Yeah.
And Terry Ann got the pot pie because she is a pot pie connoisseur. Like,
Now,
she has a
what did she
very,
think of the pot pie?
she was super impressed.
She loved it. Okay, okay.
Like, really impressed. The quantity of chicken that
Yeah,
was in the pot pie was on point. The fact that it is kind of a deconstructed pot pie where you
yeah,
have a very kind of flaky, soft kind of biscuit kind of
yeah,
bread, and then pot pie, and then another piece on top
yes,
that is elevated with like basil and
yeah,
salt on the.
yeah.
I mean, this thing was a pot pie on Disney magic.
Yeah, and just I would say that would be the my only caveat is keep in mind it's more like deconstructed vibes because that can throw people off who are like looking for their classic chicken pot pie, but don't write it off. Try
No.
it and it's amazing.
And then from the trio, the meatloaf I would say is good.
But the pot roast,
Stunningly good. No, my wife makes a better meatloaf at home, but
right.
I've never met anybody who I think their meatloaf is better than Terry Ann's anyway. So that's beside the point.
Okay.
But as a kid who grew up with dried up pot roast as a regular menu item because they're hard to cook,
Yeah.
that pot roast is fantastic.
Oh,
So moist, so well cooked, seasoning is on point. But the star of the show, and the one thing that I would say, go get this without a doubt.
yeah.
The fried chicken
Amazing.
is mind-blowingly good.
It is so like so good. And yes, the pot roast I when we went in May, my stepdad was like, "I'm not hungry. I don't really want anything. Like, can I just get I don't know, like an appetizer soup or something?" And I'm like, "Well, we're on the dining plan. Like, you literally can't get an appetizer as a table service unless you like ditch this use of a credit and like, why don't you just try something?" He ate every bit of that pot roast, like every single piece for someone who was like humming and hawing about even having lunch. So, like, it really is the food quality at this place is awesome and it's fun.
Oh, yeah, it's super fun. Now, one of the things you realize is that, when they say no phones and they say, that they're going to hold you to it. So I'm
Yeah.
going to throw this out there to our listeners. You want time at a meal with your kids where they're not on their devices? Go to 50s prime time because you're not going to have to hold them accountable. The cast members will.
Right. That's fun. That's a fun little. I didn't. No one pulled out their phone, so I didn't experience
Yep.
any of that.
I saw a cast member correct a dad for having his phone out.
Yes, I love
Now,
that.
he was kind about it,
Yeah.
but it's like, not here.
Right.
And I think that's great. Again, it would be a great surprise for a family to say, "Yep, not a chance." And now you get to interact with your parents, right?
Yes.
The other thing that I had, and this one comes with a warning, is I did think I'm going to have a shake. It's hot outside, those kinds of
Right.
things. I'm a huge fan of peanut butter milkshakes. I love them to death. Peanut butter and jelly milkshake is fantastic. Just realize that it comes in a bucket.
Yes, it does. It is an unexpected amount of milkshake.
I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to finish my meal for having tried said milkshake to start with. But
yeah.
peanut butter and jelly, and what's crazy is you get full on peanut butter
Right.
and you do get a little bit of jelly in there somehow. I don't know how they do it,
But they did.
but they did, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, Lucas got the strawberry also arrived in a bucket, and it was enough that it could be shared very easily with Abby. And this is a dining plan thing to keep in mind. Like, it doesn't have to be when you're doing that beverage at lunch, it doesn't have to be like either an alcoholic beverage or a soda. It can be a milkshake
Yeah,
too, right? Yeah.
completely. And that is one worth going there.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it they do a really really good job because I was surprised at how creamy and smooth these milkshakes were.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, this isn't your big heavy like I don't again, how do they pull it off to make it the consistency that it was really a fantastic surprise.
It gives you authentic 50s like vibes. I think this is so underrated. The fact that they do a Phantasmic dining package too. I was just pitching a family today actually on changing one of their character dinings to be a Phantasmic dining package at 50s primetime. That's how much I love it. So,
Yeah, and definitely that is worth the trade. Like
yeah,
I would make that same recommendation.
yeah, yeah.
The last place that I'll highlight just for dinner is we went over to Citrico at the Grand Flow.
Oh, what did you think?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. I think some things that I've heard and seen, it's been kind of mixed a little bit. Everything well seasoned,
Nice.
great service. We got to sit up against the windows.
Mhm.
Beautiful atmosphere. It brought everything that we wanted from an experience. It is an elevated dining kind of cost. I
Yeah,
mean, you're more in that upscale, but again, you're at Grand Flow, so
yeah,
no surprise there.
right. Yeah.
And so yeah, nothing that we were disappointed in. Everything was really, really good food. Is it one of these that I'm gonna dream about? No. Like 50s prime time, I'm gonna dream about that chicken.
Right. Yeah.
Citrico? If somebody's like, man, we're gonna go to Citrico, we're gonna go to Grand Flow, we're gonna hit Enchanted Rose after, we're gonna see I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Let's
Yeah.
let's do that.
Great time.
But I do have a public service announcement for our listeners.
Okay.
And this is one where I felt so bad in the moment when this happened. So
Uh-oh.
let me preface with that. So we happened to get seated at a two-person table.
Yeah.
Right next to us is another two-person table, and then the next one over is a booth seating for like 4 to 6 people.
Okay, sure.
In that booth seating was a grandparent couple and their granddaughter.
Sure.
They had been there like as long as we had been there,
Yeah.
right? So we're watching, the interactions, we're doing our thing, we're enjoying our meal. About 3/4 of the way through our meal, a couple, actually, let me back up. A server comes over and puts a card on the table and sprinkles some like star pixie dust on the
Oh,
table. So something unexpected is about to happen for somebody, right? Like an
right.
elevated experience.
Right.
Probably anniversary, birthday, something like that.
Something. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that's going to be cool. So, couple comes walking over with the server, and I look up, and I see on the gentleman's face this look of horror.
Right. There's about to be a particular question asked.
And I am like, what is going on here? So they sit down next to us. And they're our age. Or closer to our age.
Okay, yeah.
And the waiter looks at them and says, are you good? And they're like, yeah, we're good. And then all of a sudden, in the 4 booth over with grandparents and where the granddaughter was sitting, I see the girl look up and go, Mom!
Okay.
So the grandparents and daughter in the 4-person booth end up getting seated next to mom and dad
On date night?
who were on a date night for their anniversary.
Oh, that's what the look was. I was thinking this was an engagement. No, oh my gosh, yes.
No, we booked these things in the same restaurant close to the same time. and got seated right next to each other.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
And so dad is sitting there and mom's handling it better than dad is.
Right.
Dad is like, I'm going to need a lot of alcohol.
Right.
And mom's like, crud, we're just going to have to work our way through this.
Yes, yes.
So, my public service announcement to our listeners is
Right.
if you're going to, as an adult, on a multi-generational trip, book a special event date night, don't book it at the same restaurant that your parents are taking the kid.
Maybe inform the parents where you're going.
Because I'm sure they were staying at Grand Flow. This was a spot of convenience, and they never thought in a million years that this could happen. And yet it did.
And yet, yeah.
And future forward, as a somebody who's helping to support trips, if you don't think I'm not putting that one in my playbook,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Make sure we tell each other where we're going.
So when they're like, "Hey, we want to do an anniversary dinner," I'm like, "Great!" And we're sending you to the moon compared to where your family's gonna be.
Yeah, that is funny. I think that's a story they will hold on to.
They will. It'll be part of their Disney history for sure. But in that moment, Dad lost. He absolutely felt like he lost.
Also, like, especially because this was probably the one moment for them on this trip where they were outside of parenthood, and they like had it for a second when they were getting ready for dinner, and then they walked in and it was gone.
It was done.
That's fun.
And one of the things that was surprising is I think Disney would have tried to reseat them, but the ship had already sailed.
Yeah, the kids saw we're moving on. Yep.
But
I think that's also funny that you noticed the dad noticed before the kid did, because the dad was trying to think about how to play this.
It was. I mean, the look on his face as he is walking, I mean, because he looks over and sees grandparents there. And I mean, I was like, what just happened? And then when they sat down, and then I was like, oh, I know what just happened.
That just happened. Yeah.
All right, so how about a little rapid fire?
Let's do some rapid fire. All right, we're going to end it off this way. Some quick questions about your trip. You tell us the answer that comes to mind. And we have 5 for you. Are you ready?
I am absolutely ready. Let's do this.
Okay, best bite.
Absolutely, the chicken at 50's prime time. That now will supersede Margarita Flight at Brown Derby.
Wow.
I am genuinely now excited about having that same reservation in July.
Yeah.
And I'm not going trio. We are going full on chicken.
Full chicken commitment. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. Okay, best new. This whole episode was new.
Wow, best new. Oh wow, this is hard. I am going to, and this is going to be controversial, but I am going and it's surprising me, I'm going with the Little Mermaid show. I mean, it's either that or the Mando and Grogu overlay on Smuggler's Run. I am such a fan of Disney tricks in how they fool us into believing things that just don't exist.
This is your Imagineering heart, right?
It is. And somehow they convince us of certain things, even though they're physically impossible.
Right.
And this show just pulls out all the tricks.
Nice. I love it. Okay, best tried and true.
Best tried and true. I would say reverse rope drop on Guardians of the Galaxy closing down Epcot because we didn't have a single pass for that. The only way we were going to ride it was to either wait in line or pull a trick like this. At the close of the night, it was a posted 105-minute wait, which is huge. Did we still wait 55 minutes? We did. But to win over an hour of time?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Best mistake turned magic. Something that went wrong or didn't go according to plan or you weren't quite anticipating, but it ended up being all the more magical.
I think again it's this piece of our Arrival at Magic Kingdom Park, we anticipated
Right.
being much more on the early side than we actually
Mm-hmm.
were at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we ended up with this funny little 50-minute zone of time where it just wasn't very functional
Yeah.
to do deep in the park kept us near our dining reservation. It's the only reason we saw Mickey, which was
Right.
cool in itself. Like, you just got your annual passes for the very first time, so
Yes.
you're gonna go meet the mouse. You're gonna do the things. If it had stopped there, it still would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
But then to get pixie dusted in to see Jack and Sally, which is something that people dream of,
Yeah.
some don't ever get to do,
Yeah.
and others invest hundreds of dollars to make happen.
And hours of their lives.
Yeah, I will take that win and top 3 Disney moments all time.
I love that. Best forget the world moment as our final rapid fire. One where you've talked about this. Disney's one of the only places you feel like you can really forget the world. So what was one of those moments that was real true?
I think that was getting to hang out at La Cava. Like,
Nice.
that is
Yeah.
so, like, not my typical vibe, right? We
Right.
did Brown Derby similarly, but La Cava was the new experience, great drinks, great food, super cool atmosphere, cast members that, were just there to have a good time.
Nice.
And so, that's that moment where just spending time with your loved one in the park and not having to think about anything else but being in that moment was just, it was what this trip was all about. I mean, this whole trip is encompassed by that piece of just getting to spend time and enjoy being in a space that you're not having to think about anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And it's also like special to do that over Father's Day too for you, right? To get to celebrate and kind of be together in a place where you don't have the chaos of distractions of everyday life.
For sure. It was fantastic.
Nice.
All right. So, trip report in the books.
Another one done.
Appreciate you kind of leading us through this episode and helping me to kind of share with our listeners. I hope people got stuff out of this that they'll think about including in their trips in the future. We're going to continue to bring this kind of content because I think we continue to learn the parks. We continue to learn our craft. And this is just a way we can share that with you in the most personal of ways. Again, why we choose to do these as a regular occurrence, no matter how often we get to go to the parks. And so, Jenna, I just really appreciate the time. Guys, if you like this content and you want to support us, 5-star Apple Podcast review, subscribe. I'm just going to throw it out to our listeners. Appreciate you guys. You've been showing up in the last few months for us, throwing up big listens on the podcast. We're definitely feeling the love. So thank you for that. Jenna, remind them where they can find us on the socials.
At Enchanted Parks and Ports on Instagram. Come chat with us, join the conversation, and watch for episode announcements there.
Yeah. And so, guys, for another week, we appreciate you. And Jenna, remind our listeners.
Adventure is out there. Bye, friends.